that you have played boy band music coming out of every commercial break. Is the reason that you were doing that because I think you look like one of the Jonas Brothers?
That may be the reason, yes. Maybe next break I'll just come back singing myself.
I recommend against that.
I sang in high school, but it has been a while.
It can't be that long ago. You're like 17.
How old are you, Cam?
25.
Oh, my God. My own clothing older than
1997, I was.
So you were born in 1997?
Yes.
It's the most depressing thing I've ever heard.
Didn't you start here before that?
Yes, I started here before that. I was working at ESPN when you were born. That's a horrible thing for me to have to say out loud. I actually have children almost your age. I am literally old enough to be your father, and I can't tell you how much that sucks. Get Nuno back. Nuno's old and seems older. Like Nuno's in his 40s and he acts 70.
And he looks 80.
That is exactly right.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN.
WYNG 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, welcome in. Happy Friday. It's everybody's favorite day. Everybody loves Friday. I know I love Friday, and I know my guy Kev Nash loves Friday.
Indeed.
Kev Nash, happy Friday.
What up, Doe? What's going on?
Off and rolling. Excited to head into the weekend. You know, it's kind of weird heading into a weekend where I don't have really any plans, and those are actually my as I'm getting older, those are my favorite weekends. I used to love having plans heading into the weekend, something to look forward to. Now I look forward to literally sitting around and doing nothing.
Yes. Welcome to life after 30.
So there we are. But we're off and rolling on a Friday. So if we only have 3 hours left of work, let's put in the work, shall we? A lot to get into today. We'll open up with cap or no cap. How about this? Bronny James, LeBron James' son, has narrowed his list of schools of college choices down to 3, and the Buckeyes are one of them.
OH.
We'll talk about the reality of what that could mean for Ohio State and what are the chances that Chris Holtmann and company is capable of landing Bronny James. We'll get to that coming up around the corner. Got some NFL stuff around the corner as well. Daily wagers. It's time to put our money where our mouth is. In fact, it's easy for us to tell you who we pick. But Kev Nash and we're actually going to put some of our hard-earned money on these picks, on these upset picks coming up later on in the show as well. But Kev, let's go ahead and open it up here on a Friday with, of course, my favorite game. I'm starting to get the hang of it after almost, a year of doing this, or maybe just half a year. But either way, I'm figuring it out. I'm learning. Getting cooler by the day. Cap or no cap? That's what we opened up the show with here today. I'm Justin Kenner. He's Kev Nash. Kev Nash, explain the rules of cap or no cap.
All right.
Not for them, but for me, of course.
Cap is a lie. No cap is the truth. You'll ask a question. We'll say cap or no cap. So cap is a lie. No cap is the truth.
Cap, lie, no cap, truth. You can't handle the truth. So we're off and rolling. Cap or no cap, that's how we kick off the show here today on a Friday. Let's get to it. I just talked about it. Bronny James has the Buckeyes in his final 3, Kev. UCLA, I believe, is one, and Oregon is, USC. USC is one, Oregon is the other, and those 2 schools on the West Coast, there's only one other school that he has on that list, and it's the Ohio State Buckeyes. Cap or no cap, Kev? Bronny James will be a Buckeye. Cap or no cap?
Unfortunately, it's cap. The James family will not be living in Ohio ever again. None of them. The only family members of LeBron's that live in Ohio still are Savannah's parents, and they'll be in LA half the time. Bronny will be playing out there in LA in college.
So this one's tough for me because I want to agree with everything you're saying because, of course, the fact that LeBron is on the West Coast, the family's on the West Coast, but maybe, just maybe, he could be kind of like how I was, and you've moved away from your family.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't need to be glued to his father's side, to his family's side. There is part of me that does think that adding the Buckeyes to the list of his final 3, the only school that's not on the West Coast where he currently resides right now, maybe it's a courtesy. LeBron's always had, they've always talked about the fact that if LeBron was forced to play 1 year of college, because back then I think he was one of the last, he wasn't the last class, but it was one of the, it was as the years were dwindling down of players having to go to school for at least 1 year or going to college for 1 year. He probably would have been a Buckeye. He would have played for Thad Matta back in the day, most likely. I know Coach K is brought up as a potential destination for him back in the day at Duke, but that was more of a Kobe thing than anything. So the Buckeyes have always been tied to the family of LeBron James in some capacity or another. So it doesn't surprise me that they're on that list. But why put him on that list at all? Because they could have put Duke on that list if it was a, if you know what I mean, if it was like a favor or something along those lines, especially. But there's the LeBron jerseys, that of course Ohio State sports and all that type of stuff. So I'm going to say no cap. I'm going to say no cap because it is just for 1 year. It is just for 1 year. We're going to have Paul Bencardi on the show next week, which I'm excited about. We're going to chat with him about the career of Bronny James and his high school run and just exactly what college is getting with Bronny James. Yes, it's going to be a show because it's LeBron's son, of course. But nonetheless, when you just strip it down to the talent, who is Bronny James? We'll talk about that next week with him. But I think there's a good chance he does come to Ohio State. I'm going to be confident. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say no cap. He will be a Buckeye in the future, mainly because I think sometimes, yes, his family's over there, but hey, he's going to be an adult now. He can go pick his own school. Yeah. We'll see what happens. But yes, do you think it's like a courtesy putting Ohio State on there? And what good does a courtesy do?
I think it's real. People forget Bronny was born in Ohio. You know, he lived obviously in Miami with his parents, and they moved back to Ohio. So he definitely has Ohio roots. It isn't like their daughter who's never lived in Ohio, so he has Ohio roots. Obviously, his parents are from Ohio. His pops was going to go to Ohio State. His grandparents still live in Ohio. So there is a connection to Ohio. I mean, what better place to go play basketball than the Ohio State University? Maybe Wright State, maybe UD.
Ron Broadstock says, is Holtman capable of being let go? What's interesting enough about this Holtman thing, and I don't want to use this platform, or not platform, but use this segment to get into this. The thing about Holtman is, as good of a job as I think he has done to this point, and I know right now I'm not going to defend him too much. I think questions are being asked, and I think that they should be asked, and I think that those questions deserve answers. But right now, the Buckeyes in the midst of, I believe, like a 5-game losing streak at this point, and I think they are favored in this weekend. But here's the thing. He's recruiting his tail off. In fact, the best recruiting classes for Holtman are this current season and next season. He has a top 6 recruiting class next season. And then you had Bronny on top of it. Let's say, I think, I'm not saying it's Bronny or bust for Chris Holtman, but let's say Holtman is able to land Bronny. Now, you could say, well, it's not Holtman landing Bronny. LeBron's family's been tied to Ohio State for generations, right? So we'll see what happens, but I'm not as down on Holtman as others. But let's keep in mind the recruiting classes that Holtman's been able to put together over the last couple of years, I think, should buy him time if that's the case. Plus, Ohio State, we know it's a football school. I'm not saying they don't have expectations for basketball, but, I mean, he's been in the NCAA tournament every single year. Top 25 team all but one season. So I'm not as down on Chris Holtman as others, but if he does land Bronny, that would be a huge feather in his cap, that's for sure.
I would like everybody go take a look at the top 25. Doesn't look the same as it did maybe 3-4 years ago. The Kentuckies, they're not up there. Michigan State's not up there. Ohio State's not up there. Houston's up there. UConn's back in the top 25. So we're seeing a big shift in college basketball where, these one and dones, there's not a lot of great one and dones. It's just one and done. You're not really that great. So for Chris Holtman, I know you talked about the good recruiting classes, but Michi Johnson, he transferred out to South Carolina. I'm drawing a blank on his name. The Ohio Player of the Year last year, he went to Kentucky. So it's like a lot of I won't say misses, but it's like guys out there that you would expect to go to Ohio State because they had so many connections to Ohio State, or even to stick around at Ohio State. And then we're in the midst of a 5-game losing streak. It's getting warm. It's getting warm. It's definitely getting warm. But the good part for Chris Holtman, Ohio State is a football school, and we only care about basketball starting after Ohio State's football season is over, because they could have been losing games left and right as the Buckeye football team was winning. Nobody would have said a word because they minds would have been totally distracted on football. But now there's no football. Recruiting's over. Spring football hasn't started, so the talking stuff is really low right now. So we immediately, all right, well, let's go to our backup sport. Let's keep us occupied until football turns around. Like, wait, hold on, we're losing again. So now people are starting to get antsy about it, because if they do even make the tournament, the way they're playing right now, it might be a first-round exit, and that'll be a very bad thing.
Yeah, keep in mind, this is actually a team that was playing really good basketball.
Yeah.
They were a top 25 team pretty much. They didn't start the season in the top 25. They worked their way in. They were there for about 3.5 weeks, and then they got bumped. But they also have 4 freshmen that are playing heavy minutes. 2 of them are starting. Ring the bell for me. Ring the bell. But it's hard to use youth as an excuse in today's basketball, where especially college basketball, it's traditionally, it's become traditionally a younger, lineup type of sport. But nonetheless, I'm not as down on Ohio State as others. But you're right, Kev. Everyone's so football focused that when football ends, everyone that turned the page to basketball, you're turning the page to Ohio State's worst stretch all season. So that's the unfortunate part. But we'll see what ends up happening. If you're just joining us, it's cap or no cap. Bronny James has narrowed his list of schools down to 3. Oregon is one. Of course, USC is the other, and then Ohio State. I mean, that's a very random final 3.
No,
but
it's not. All Nike schools.
Well, there's that aspect of it, too. The Oregon one definitely makes sense. LeBron's a brand type family, or the James family, a brand type family. But how much, maybe he wants to branch out and do his own thing, but we'll see what ends up happening. But cap or no cap, Bronny James will be a Buckeye. I say no cap. I think there's a good chance that could happen if he wants to venture out and do his own thing. He wants to head to the NBA. LeBron wants to play with him in the NBA. Maybe he won't be NBA ready, but I think there's a team out there that if they wanted to draft Bronny, if that meant luring LeBron to come finish his career with a certain team, who knows? I just feel bad for the kid because I want him to go to college because he's good now. That's why I want to talk to Paul Bancardi, because the headlines with Bronny are that LeBron wants to play with him in the NBA. Is he even NBA good enough? Is he good enough for the NBA? I know he's a 4-star kid. I know he's good enough to play at this level of basketball, but is he going to come in and be LeBron? Like, I think that's tough being a legend's son, is because you're going to be held to that expectation. So, is it fair he's going to be used? Is he being used along the way? Because, hey, Ohio State, not that they're using him, but man, imagine Bronny playing there. They're going to be telling future recruits him, and LeBron's going to be at your games. LeBron's going to be sitting courtside. Who knows what ends up happening? But on to the next one, Kev. How about this one? Deion Sanders flipped the number 1 corner for the class of 2023. It's the back-to-back seasons where he lands the number 1 player. That's fascinating to me. He did it at a HBCU school, and then he did it at Colorado. HBCUs don't get that kind of talent, right? Like, that's what made it. I mean, any type of 4 or 5 star that goes the HBCU route, the reason it garners headlines is because that's not the normal path, at least, in today's era of college football, of course. But to do it back-to-back seasons with an HBCU school one year and then Colorado, okay, which was a brand for most of our listeners for them growing up, but not really for me and you, or at least for me growing up. I mean, I don't think Colorado and think football right away.
Right.
But Deion's doing some things. I love the video he put out last night. I don't know if you caught it.
I saw it.
Can you imagine Ryan Day doing a video like that? Nick Saban. We got mad at Family Dude because he stood on a little spinning conveyor belt thing and dancing and just looking goofy as all get out. I appreciate that today's coaches are embracing the social media side and trying to relate to players. Of course, when Deion does it, it's natural. It's organic. Yeah. It's not cringeworthy like our guy, Kelly over at LSU.
Family.
But cap or no cap, Kev, Deion in Colorado will secure a top 3 class in 2024. I would put 3, but I think they're too far behind. I think it's already a month until the final, the final signing day. But I think in 2024, are we going to be talking about Colorado and Deion with a top 3 recruiting class, maybe the top one?
Cap. I'm going to go with cap because eventually they're going to have to play football. And it's great that he's getting skill players. He's got a quarterback, obviously his son. He's got a couple wide receivers. He's got some DBs. No, he didn't get them big boys. Them big boys at the line of scrimmage on the offensive and defensive line. As great as those guys on the outside are, if you can't get them the ball, they ain't no good. It's just as simple as that. Until he starts to get guys in the front 7, I'm going to say cap. Because you get those guys, then I'll say, okay, you're making headway. You're making turnarounds. He hasn't even been able to get those big guys in the transfer portal, let alone high school recruiting. So I'm going to go with cap.
So here's my concern about it. By the way, I'm big, humongous, gigantic Deion fan. I didn't want him to go to Colorado because I really wanted him in Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. So when he went to Colorado, I was bummed. I'm like, Colorado. But he's making Colorado looks cool now. Yeah. The logo looks cool. Before, I'm like, Colorado, it's just an ugly, it's a brown color. They're kind of boring. It's just kind of it doesn't but now, when I see Colorado pop up on social media, by the way, the clothing line, all that stuff being that's turning into a brand, and that's the power of Deion and all that. So I'm already a fan of what he's doing out there, but here's my concern. There's a certain coach a year ago that we were propping up, not you because you know better, but there's a certain coach that was just garnering all these headlines and getting propped up majorly because he was kicking ass on the recruiting trail. And then the season got here, and this individual lost quite a few football games, and that's Jimbo Fisher. So there are coaches who can win in the summer. And Deion's winning this summer. He's winning this summer. So, and it's January, by the way, but you see what I'm saying. He's winning this offseason the way Jimbo won last offseason. And there's going to be other coaches that get a lot of headlines as well. But then a lot of the players that Jimbo was able to secure a year ago, they jumped off ship because once they got to that season, all of a sudden Jimbo doesn't have that same allure to him because, now he's associated with a lot of losing, which I don't think is fair. I wish players would realize that, hey, you were brought here for the future. It doesn't matter what's happening this exact moment, but that's where we're at right now. Even the results matter now. Even after they sign, you still have to look good that season. Otherwise, they're going to kind of be a little shaky and bolt. I'm worried that could be Colorado as well. The difference is Jimbo and Deion, their personalities.
Big difference.
I don't think people were going to Texas A&M for Jimbo Fisher. I think he was part of it. But I think Deion is why people are going to Colorado. So that could be the big difference maker. So I hope it doesn't turn into a Jimbo situation. But I'm gonna say no cap. I think right now, I think he's just getting his feet wet. I think that because he's getting these types of talents are ready to go there, I think now all of a sudden everyone's going to start kind of putting their ear a little closer over towards Colorado because what's he always say? He ain't hard to find.
He ain't hard to find.
He's not hard to find. And I think what that message is, hey, just because I haven't reached out to you doesn't mean you can't come find. That message is clear, right?
Yeah.
It's how many times we talk about, oh man, did you see Ryan Day was at Miamisburg or he was watching Alter this way. Ryan Day is going to the players. He's going to find you. Well, guess what? Deion's like, hey, I can't be everywhere. I ain't hard to find though. Let me know. Let's talk. Like, I think it's a cool branded message that's letting talent know, hey, Colorado hasn't reached out to talk to me, but maybe I could find him. Maybe I could reach out. Maybe I'm not on their radar. So I'm going to say yes. I think that he finishes with a top 3 recruiting class in 2024. I think he can kind of get. I mean, he's 29 right now. Colorado has the number 29 class for 23. Maybe he can get closer to 20 when it's all said and done. But I'm a big fan of Deion right now. But you're right. That schedule, just so we have that in front of us here. I guess it was finalized and announced just earlier in the week, Kev. And of course, my laptop is freezing. But I mean, you're going up against USC. You're going up against a lot of really good teams. The Pac-12 actually got really good last year, and they have a lot of returning teams. So they're at TCU on September 2nd.
Loss.
Deion is opening up Colorado at TCU. Then they got Nebraska.
Loss.
Matt Rule, week 2. Colorado State,
win.
1-2. At Oregon,
loss.
1-3.
Big loss.
Man, it's actually a brutal. Actually, gosh dang, this schedule stinks. It stinks. It's really good, actually. But this is the schedule, Kev. In the first month of September, he is at TCU, Nebraska, Colorado State. That's the 1 win. At Oregon, USC, Arizona State. That's the first 5 weeks of the season.
1, maybe 2. 1, maybe 2 wins.
Well,
look, man, like, it's great that Deion's there. And I know I'm rooting for him, and I know a lot of other people are rooting for him. But it takes a while. It isn't just turnkey. Like, we look at what Lincoln Riley was able to accomplish, but they still were a bowl team. USC was still a bowl team when he showed up there. So they still had guys on the football team. This Colorado team was 1-11.
Yep.
They're revamping everything. They're starting from the very bottom. You know, Drake's song started from the bottom. They not here yet. So they got a long way to go before they even at 6-6. If they're able to get to 6-6 this upcoming season, they should put a banner up. That's how tough it's going to be.
Definitely going to be tough. And the thing is, so after that USC game, then it's, Arizona State, Stanford, bye week. UCLA is another tough one. Then they're at Utah to close out the season. Yeah, next season, they may not even, I don't even think Colorado, they're not in a bowl game next year.
3-4 wins max.
They're not in a bowl game next year. 2 years ago, that schedule, I would have scoffed at that. But like, okay, fine, that's a good schedule to ease into. That schedule is brutal. The Pac-12 has improved dramatically and it stinks for the Pac-12 too, because they're finally have arrived and now they're losing 2 huge brands. But that's why this might kind of help the Pac-12 if Colorado does emerge as an actual star. All right, cap or no cap, we'll continue to go down the list. Let's do another one before we take a pause in the action. We'll get through the whole list. By the way, Keith Tolliver, he chimes in, Kev. He says he believes 2025 will be a top 3 class for Colorado.
I could believe that, because what you always got to do is realize that, all right, recruiting, you already know Alabama's going to be in the top 3. Georgia's going to be in the top 3. So who's going to get that 3rd spot? Is it going to be a Texas? Is it going to be Ohio State? Is it going to be a LSU? You going to jump all those teams that get up there? It's possible. It's Deion Sanders. He has a lot of weight. He has a lot of sway. He's a convincing guy. Obviously, NIL going to play a part as well. But 2 of the 3 spots are already taken from Alabama and Georgia off the rip. So there's everybody else playing for that 3rd spot.
Let's see what happens. David Shaw says Deion's first 5 games, he may be 0-5. As we just went down that list, Shaw, I think the Colorado State's about it. That might be the only one that he could potentially get a win against.
3-4 games max all season.
All right. Cap or no cap? That's how we've opened up the show today. We still have a couple more that we'll get into. How about this one? Be thinking of this during the break. 4 really good quarterbacks out of the AFC. Josh Allen against Joe Burrow coming up this weekend. And then we'll see, of course, Patrick Mahomes against Trevor Lawrence in his very first playoff appearance, starting out 1-0. Pretty exciting for him. But be thinking about this, Kev. All 4 AFC quarterbacks in the divisional round will be back in the playoffs again next season, cap or no cap. Plus, Jim Harbaugh has been flirting with the NFL the last 2 off seasons. Last 2 off seasons, we've almost felt as if Harbaugh was about to bolt Michigan. The 2023 season will be the final season for Michigan and Harbaugh. Cap or no cap? Be thinking about that during the commercial break. We'll step away for a few moments. Coming up in a bit, too, all the transfer portal is such a big deal right now in college athletics. If you thought about, well, what happened to so-and-so? What happened to this player that left the Buckeyes? What happened to that player that left the Buckeyes? We'll take a look at the players that entered the portal as Buckeyes last season. How do they perform in 2022? Bucknuts put out an interesting article kind of recapping how the 2022 season went for all of those who jumped into the portal last season for the Buckeyes. I thought that list was pretty interesting. Plus, we'll get into our Bengals Bills in-game parlays. You're going to help us build a winner. And plus, put your money where your mouth is. A lot of big potential payout opportunities depending on what games you pick this coming up weekend. We'll talk about all of that. Jam-packed show. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash when we come back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The mid-afternoon and early evening will be cloudy with a few spots of flurries and snow, a high near 35. Tonight's going to be mostly cloudy and cold, a low near 28. And tomorrow's going to be partly cloudy, a high near 40. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Houday Nation, Betfred has come all the way from England to the great state of Ohio with over 50 years of sports betting experience. No emperors, no movie stars, just a sportsbook you can trust. The Betfred Sportsbook app will be available on January 1st, 2023. Until then, download the Bengals app or go to betfredsports.com and have a chance to win Bengals tickets and exclusive merchandise. Official sports betting partner of the Cincinnati Bengals. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more, and you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores. Get in the zone, AutoZone. See details at AutoZone.com.
Why have over 2 million people trusted their bath remodels to Bathfitter? When a normal day is anything but normal, we fit your schedule with our unique tub-over-tub process installed in just a day with no demolition. When high quality is the only quality that matters, we fit your standards. We've been remodeling baths for over 35 years, and every bath we install comes with a lifetime warranty. Get the bath you want in a day with quality that lasts a lifetime. Bathfitter, it just fits. Visit bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time. Time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the very best value in bath and shower remodeling and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that's safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase right now. Visit Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com. And upgrade today.
Want to make tonight's dinner a perfect 10? Swing by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and pick up a 10-piece strips meal for only $24.99 with 10 freshly marinated honey-dipped premium tenderloins, 3 dipping sauces, 2 of our irresistible large sides, and 5 fluffy biscuits, it's family time made from scratch. Take home a top-notch dinner the whole family will love from Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken with our 10-piece strips meal for only $24.99. Only at Lee's. Famous for chicken.
Add style to your bathroom with a Kohler Elate sliding shower door at Menards. The frameless design emphasizes its tempered glass to create a sleek, minimalist look. The Kohler Elate sliding shower door is available in different finishes and features clean coat technology, which creates a barrier between the water and the glass to help keep the door looking like new. Save big money on Kohler shower doors now at Menards. Savings good through January 22nd.
Save big money at Menards.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history. If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Science proves quality sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses your movements and automatically adjusts to help keep you both effortlessly comfortable. And it's temperature balancing, so you stay cool. So you're at your best for yourself and those you care about most. Life-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number. And now save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed Queen, only $19.99, plus special financing, only for a limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest tax refund, plus a chance to double your refund with the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal return ends 4/2/23.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
And we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Did you watch the Slap League or whatever it was you said you were going to watch last night? Because you said you had no plans.
I watched it, and I'm going to continue watching it. It's so bad.
I mean, I saw the one clip that went viral where the guy's like, his arms and hands, I forgot what that's called, but I mean, it's creepy. I don't know, man. It's like the same people that, like, after the Hamlin thing that said, oh, football, it's just becoming too hard to watch. They're the same people that are watching this. And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all people? Not you, but like the people that are like.
There's something wrong with all of us that are watching this. I admit it. But it's almost like so it's this Instagram page that I follow. It's called Kids Getting Hurt. So it's kids. It's just kids just falling off their skateboards or falling off swings and stuff like that. I find it funny. I find it funny that people are hurting themselves. I'm sorry.
Woofa.
I'm a bad person.
You're not a bad person, but no, last night growing up, we talked yesterday. I'm a big sitcom fan. That's all I ever watched growing up. So They just did that 90s show they released on Netflix. I'm curious how many of our listeners have had a chance to check that out. I watched all 10 episodes already.
Wow.
I look, it checks off a lot of boxes. It's created the new storyline for the new group of kids that's in that. The storyline for that's cool for the younger fans or whatever. But I thought it was badass that they used Red and Kitty for pretty much like every episode. They were like the main characters pretty much. I was a big fan of it. I think it's cool. I hope they do a season 2. They used Fez. They used Fez an awful lot. Donna, they used her quite a lot actually throughout. They used Kelso and Jackie for like the first episode, I believe, and that was about it. But nonetheless, it was really good. Check it out. If you like that 70s show, I actually think you'll like it. I think it's one of the better reboots of all the comedies and the sitcoms out there.
So Red, his real name is Kurtwood Smith. He has been the same age since 1987 when he was in RoboCop. Go ahead, do yourself a Google search. Google him from RoboCop and look at him today. He looks exactly the same as he did in 1987.
So, and no, you're right. Kitty's the same way, whatever her name is, but I thought Red and Kitty, they didn't age at all. Shaw said, and man, tough reviews. I saw 15 seconds and turned it off. I'll never go back.
15 seconds. Goodness gracious.
And sounds like when you read the reviews of me, I mean, it's like, my goodness. But no, Forrest said it was god awful. Jesus. All right, maybe I should have read the reviews before I pretended to like the show on here. No, actually, I enjoyed it. Shaw did say, he goes, I watched half an episode. It was just awful. So look, the storyline, like with the kids, I think it's hitting multiple. Like for me, I watch for the nostalgia purposes.
Mm-hmm.
I watch it because the Red and Kitty aspects of it.
Yeah.
Like that's what I enjoyed. I like that. I didn't really care about the other storylines too much, but I watched it just because those two cracked me the hell up. I thought they both did awesome with that. So Forrest said, I think they tried too hard to make it funny and they tried too hard to be the same as that 70s show. See, that's why I liked it. Not that they tried too hard to be funny, but that they tried to make it like that 70s show.
It's worth a shot. I mean, that's how things are nowadays. You have to have an IP that people recognize and that people have some feelings about that make you want to like, all right, let me check it out. I'll give it a watch. You watched it. Some people watched it for a half episode. Some people watched it for 15 seconds. Some people is going to catch on with, some people is not going to catch on with, but I'm pretty sure that they'll do a second season. I'm seeing some reviews out there. It's definitely getting a lot of views on Instagram, Netflix. So yeah.
So David Shaw said Forrest 100. He's responding to Forrest. So man, so Shaw and Forrest, when are we having that 90s show watch party? You know, when are we going to get to that? So okay, I like it. Quite a few of you in the chat section don't. Totally okay. Kev, you have to check it out. You'll have to kind of weigh in on it too. But yeah, like I said, it's the storylines. It's for a younger viewership for them with like the younger, but like the Red and Kitty stuff. I think the nostalgia purposes will kind of relate more to some of the older viewers. I guess I'm an older viewer. I don't know, but that's where we're at. Cap or no cap, we return to that as we, of course, close out this portion of the show with the cap or no cap. Kev, let's pick up with where we left off. So I'm excited for this upcoming weekend, NFL Divisional Round of the playoffs. 4 kick-ass quarterbacks in the AFC. Josh Allen against Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, who we had no doubt that he would be here. But Trevor Lawrence, I think we expected Herbert versus Patrick Mahomes, but no matter what happened, Patrick Mahomes was going to be facing a quarterback that was new to this round of the playoffs and new to the playoffs in general. Here's Trevor Lawrence, an emerging star, 4 amazing quarterbacks. There's a lot of amazing quarterbacks in the AFC that aren't in the playoffs right now. But, Kev, when you look at the 4 in the divisional round of the playoffs right now, cap or no cap, all 4 of the AFC QBs in the divisional round will be back in the playoffs again next season. Cap or no cap?
No cap. What's going to change? What's going to change? Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars are only going to get better. What's going to change for the Cincinnati Bengals? It's going to be the same as always been.
Not the division round, just playoffs in general, right? Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So what's going to change? Who's going to jump up and take the division from the Cincinnati Bengals? Okay, if we say the Browns take the division, that means they're probably still going to be in contention for that wild card spot. Do we believe that the Dolphins are going to take the division from the Buffalo Bills? If so, they're probably still in contention for the wild card spot. So I'll say all 4 of these quarterbacks still going to make the playoffs next year.
So I agree with that. I'm going to say no cap as well. I think all 4 QBs will be back in the playoffs again next season. When you brought up a good point, what's going to change? Well, even if there is change, as you kind of alluded to, let's say, and by the way, I think right now, if I had to put money, I put my money where my mouth is. Bengals win the AFC North next year as well. I have to see what the Browns do. And again, no, I don't care if the Browns go get Hopkins. The Browns could do a lot. The Browns are still in that prove it mode. Like, they haven't proven anything. The Bengals now, last year, the reason everyone thought that it was a troll move on my part to constantly pick against them. But the reason I was constantly picking against them is, yes, because I can't stand y'all. That's part of it. The second reason is because it really was coming down to the whole, I need to see it to believe it. And Kev, I think even the most passionate Bengals fans, they couldn't believe that their team was in the Super Bowl last year. So the reason that I'm everyone's like, oh, you seem more level-headed this year. No, it's because I saw it. You have to see it to believe it. It's not as if, like, I could see if I was doing a show in Boston back when Brady was with the Patriots, and every year I'm like, nope, Tom Brady sucks. Tom Brady sucks. Tom Brady sucks. I just needed to see it to believe it. And I also I've seen quarterbacks have success for a little stretch of time, and then the league figures them out and off they go. The league's figuring Burrow out, and then he figures out a new way. He keeps figuring it out himself. So I'm not anti-Bengals. I'm just anti some of y'all from time to time. Like, you're anti-me, and that's fair. But no, the Browns, they're in that I need to see it to believe it stage. So I don't care what they do this off. The Browns can go get another dominant pass rusher and Hopkins. I'm still going to be like, man, I really love what the Browns did this offseason. I need to see it to believe it. So I still believe the Bengals are the AFC North champs next year, but the Browns could still be in it. That doesn't mean that they're not in it. Hell, right. Lamar can come back, or will, most likely be back with the Ravens after all the chatter the last 2 days. Who knows? But they could be back. Pittsburgh, the horrible Pittsburgh Steelers that were supposed to be in last place this season, they just missed the playoffs by a game. But 9-8, they finished the season. Another 500. If the worst that the Steelers are is a 9-win team, that means the Browns have to, on their worst year, be a 9-win team. The Bengals have to at least be a 9-win team. The AFC North can get all 4 teams in next year. We talked that's never happened. We thought the East was going to do it. There was a stretch where Washington was winning at a level that we thought we were going to see the NFC East get all 4 teams in.
Crazy.
I believe one of those 2 divisions will get it done next year. If Carr especially ends up in Washington, I could see a scenario where we go from never having it happen ever to potentially having both the East out of the NFC and the North out of the AFC, where all 4 teams potentially make it next year. That'd be very interesting. That's another cap or no cap, technically. But I'm going to say, yes, these 4 quarterbacks will definitely be back next year. The AFC quarterback depth is unbelievable. A lot of good teams missed it. Again, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I think those 4 QBs will be back. That's for sure.
Definitely don't want to derail cap or no cap, but you brought it up. You talked about Derek Carr ending up with the Commanders. Where in the bleep is Carson Wentz going to play next season? Does anybody even want him?
If you had a choice right now, let's say Pickett, news breaks his ACL, blah, 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 and the Steelers need to get a free agent quarterback, and there's only Baker Mayfield or Carson Wentz. Who are you taking?
Baker Mayfield.
And Carson Wentz, I think, could get you better numbers, but I'm done with Carson Wentz. Baker, the personality could be a little strong. I completely get that, up and down. But Wentz, half the time you look up, he's throwing his yardage is up there with the elite throwers in the league. Like, he can get you your yards, but he also throws a lot to the other team. Baker does too, but at a shorter clip. Yeah, Baker would be a better. I think there's a better chance Baker starting in the league next year than Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz is down to now a backup. And if he is starting, it's going to be because the starter goes down and that type of thing. But yeah, I think way better chance Baker's in the league as a starter next year than Carson Wentz.
Man, Carson Wentz might be at ESPN this time next year.
Whew, man. All right, last one here, Kev. Cap or no cap? Michigan football.
Oh,
a lot of drama the last couple of years with Michigan. But what's funny is no one wins quietly, and Michigan's winning. They're in playoff back-to-back years, Big Ten champs back-to-back years, beat Ohio State back-to-back years. And it doesn't surprise me that obviously lines up with the most interest we've seen from the NFL and Harbaugh since he left the NFL. And then, of course, now there's a lot of coaching scandals, coaching changes, all that type of stuff. A lot of noise around Michigan, but that happens when you win football games. They're a very good program right now. But Harbaugh's flirted with the NFL the last 2 off seasons. I thought this year for sure, I felt like he was about to bounce. They have announced he's officially going to come back for the second time this offseason. But
I like this speech better than the first one.
It seemed like I believe I'll be. It's kind of like that Urban Meyer. You done coaching? I believe I'm done coaching. Well, I don't believe you. So there we go. But is this the last? Is the 2023 season? Well, this upcoming season. Well, this is going to be Jim Harbaugh's last season with Michigan. Cap or no cap?
No cap. This is it. Blake Corum's coming back. Donovan Edwards is still coming back because he had to, because he was only a sophomore last year. You're bringing back McCarthy at the quarterback. You're bringing back a ton of dudes on defense as well. they're going to be something to reckon with. You thought that they were blowing those bum teams out earlier in the season. They're about to be putting up 50 in the first half on dudes this upcoming season. They're going to be a force, and this is going to be their best chance to win the national championship. And I'm not sure if they're going to get it done or not, but this is it, because this is his best team he's ever had at Michigan. And eventually all this stuff that goes on between the NCAA and college football, guys like that, guys that have options, they just say, you know what, enough of this, man. I'm out of here, dude. Like, I can't buy a cheeseburger. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm just going to go ahead and bounce and go to the NFL. I think this is his last year, just strictly off of all the stuff he has to deal with. And we're just going to keep it about football, because I know there's some other things going on with some of the coaching staff up there in Michigan as well. So I think this is his last year at Michigan. I think they go out with a bang.
Harbaugh, this will be his last season at Michigan. Cap, lie, no cap, truth. And I think no cap. I think this is it. I think one reason that he was kind of back and forth is the fact that Michigan, they made the playoff last season. Not saying they weren't supposed to be there this year, but they were supposed to be retooling a bit with the talent. And then it was supposed to be about this upcoming season. And then they beat Ohio State. They win the Big Ten back-to-back years in the playoff once again. And I think that he will not return to Michigan after this upcoming season for quite a few reasons. One of those being this is a stacked roster, which is why I think he ultimately decided to come back. Corum, NIL deal north of $1 million, and by the way, good for Corum and good for college football. There's so many negative storylines that surround the perception of NIL, and I completely get it, because it's not like they should be paid for their name, their image, their likeness, and that's not what this is. They're being paid to play football. Okay, whatever. It is taking a different spin than we anticipated this, but whatever. This is good. Like, we don't like Michigan. We're not supposed to like Corum, but as football fans, like, we want the best player. If we can get more great players to stay in college an extra year, that's only good. That's even better for us. The product looks better, all that type of stuff. These are wins for college football. And you'd have to think that Ohio State had quite a few players come back because of this exact same reason, Stover and some others. And hell, CJ Stroud waited the exact last possible second before announcing he was going to the NFL. And you'd have to think that NIL is one reason that it took him so long to finally just bite the bullet and say, okay, I'm going to the pros. So NIL, thumbs up in my book as far as that goes. But I think Harbaugh too, here's the other reason this is his last upcoming season. The Big Ten's about to change dramatically.
That's a good point.
USC's coming. UCLA's coming. Now, I'm not saying that USC's coming and that automatically bumps Michigan out of the equation. They may bump Ohio State out of the equation. But I think that this coming up season is the last of what we are going to remember for me traditionally growing up. Like, the Big Ten will not be the same again after this upcoming season. And I think Harbaugh knows that. And I think this is the last season of what traditionalists will love of the Big Ten before it drastically feels different and looks different. And I think that's one reason why he's going to come back for one more year, because for one, he could still beat Ohio State. The roster's good enough to do it. They've already done it. They can get back to the playoff a third straight year and maybe get that national championship. So I say no cap. I think that Harbaugh, this is his final season. He will not be at Michigan in 2024.
And they restocked all the guys that are going to the pros with guys in the transfer portal, and not just jacks. They got dudes in the transfer portal. So, and that's something else. It's kind of like when we were talking about Coach K retiring. Like, is he down with the way college basketball is now, having to re-recruit your own class, the NIL, transfer portal? Sometimes guys just get fed up and say, man, this isn't the game that I signed up for. I'm going to take my ball and go home. Well, in Harbaugh's case, he can just take his ball and go to the NFL and continue to do this because he still is a young man.
All right, and that is cap or no cap, and we'll continue with those conversations throughout the show. We'll step away for a few moments. On the other side, Kev, you wanted to talk about the pressure situation for not just teams but quarterbacks. Give us a tease.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about the pressure rankings for the quarterbacks in the NFL playoffs, man. I got them broken down into 3 categories: must win, better win or else, and house money.
House money.
House
nice.
money.
All right, folks, we'll step away. More of the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash when we come back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is officially live in Ohio, right in time for the NFL playoffs. Now you can legally bet on all your favorite sports, anytime and anywhere, right here in Ohio with DraftKings. For a limited time, new customers who sign up with promo code WING1410 and bet $5 or more will receive $200 in bonus bets instantly. Now, just because my Pittsburgh Steelers didn't make the playoffs doesn't mean I shouldn't try to make some money with some same-game parlays and player props. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers can use promo code WING1410 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on anything. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code WING1410. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and up. Physically present in Ohio. Valid one offer per first-time depositor who have not already redeemed $200 in free bets via pre-launch offer. Minimum $5 deposit and wager. $200 issued as bonus bets. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DKNG.co/OH for terms.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Do you or any of your family members, neighbors, or friends own a property that you just want to be done with it? If so, call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you to take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. Call 614-470-2000. That's 614-470-2000.
A new year and a new career. KTH Parts Industries has immediate openings, second shift production associates, and equipment technicians. Material handling experience is a plus. This is an excellent new opportunity that offers an attractive benefit package, medical, dental, 401k, attendance bonus, and a competitive wage, starting at $19.75 per hour with annual increases. KTH is hosting open interviews Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. through 3 p.m. Visit kth.net. KTH is an equal opportunity employer.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The best part about taking ZQuil Pure Z's Sleep Plus Next Day Energy at night is actually the next morning. I wake up alert with none of the grogginess from taking too much melatonin. Pure Z Sleep Plus Next Day Energy is a bilayer tablet with immediate release melatonin and extended release B vitamins to help me fall asleep naturally and wake refreshed. It's my secret weapon for a great night's sleep and a great morning.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Can't beat that.
ZQuil Pure Z's Gummies. Sleep better, wake your best.
The Hoop Collective Podcast.
I'm at our ESPN LA studios. You may remember that Bev did a couple of days of work for ESPN last year.
No, I remember. I was on with him.
He left a gorgeous Dolce & Gabbana suit here that is just spectacular.
You should wear it on TV today, Brian.
I do not believe it will fit me, only because the arms are too long. You're across the street. Come over and get it. It's got to be at least a $7,000 suit.
The Hoop Collective Podcast. Listen on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went. And guess what? It did work for me. You know, my friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose. A very bad habit.
Mark Patrick Seminars. Stop smoking without cravings, irritability, or weight gain. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all, or your money back. Seminar 8 p.m. on Thursday, January 26th at the Holiday Inn Dayton Fairborn, I-675 in Fairborn. Or 2 p.m. on Saturday, January 28th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Dayton South, I-675 in Dayton. Registration 30 minutes before seminar. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest tax refund, plus a chance to double your refund with the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal return ends 4/2/23.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
It's the Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
And we are back. Justin Kenner, Kev Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. 518-1410, 518-1410. That's the number to either call into the show or, of course, you can text us. Text your comments into the show. We'll respond to you that way. If you're at work and can't call in but want to chime in on the conversation, you could do so. Text us 518-1410. Put that 937 in front of it, of course. Dustin Taylor, he goes, I say cap. This is about Harbaugh. If you're just joining us, by the way, we just wrapped up cap or no cap. Our final cap or no cap was, of course, Harbaugh. This will be his final season at Michigan, cap or no cap. Cap being a lie, no cap being the truth. I'm saying it as if I'm confident in knowing that. I just have to remind myself. But Dustin Taylor says cap. He won't get total control of a pro program, and that's what he demanded. I say he's there for at least 3 to 5 more years.
Wow.
And maybe so. Look, I like Harbaugh being there because he's a character, and I think that adds to the rivalry. I think there's that, he's a dislikable dude if you're not a Michigan fan. And I mean that from a sports perspective, not from I don't know the guy, but what I mean? He's a villain. Like, he plays that villain coach perfectly as far as, in the rivalry.
Love those interviews.
So, yes, I would love him to stay. I think he makes the rivalry pop a little bit more. Yes, because now they're finally winning, but obviously his personality does too. Shaw says the problem is that Harbaugh is 60. The NFL doesn't hire 60-year-old coaches. The interest in the NFL isn't there.
I just Googled that, and I was surprised he's 60 years old. He doesn't carry himself like a 60-year-old, doesn't look like a 60-year-old. I mean, him and Pete Carroll, I think Pete Carroll's like 70.
Yeah.
He surely doesn't look 70 or
I don't think he ages that much either. Like, he looks a little older, but sometimes I'll see a highlight from the USC teams back in the day and a clip over him on the sidelines. I mean, he kind of looks the exact same.
Yeah.
He doesn't change too much.
I didn't know Harbaugh was, quote unquote, that old. Because I made the comment, I was still a young man. I was like, well, maybe not 60. A little up there, but,
And it could be that Harbaugh at 60 years old knows how to play the game, and he is, and Shaw is right. A lot of this has not been the NFL inquiring to him. It's been the other way around. But then there's reports that come out that from ESPN reporters and others that say the interest is mutual, that the NFL, that there are a lot of NFL teams that at least, seek out the interview. Randy said, have you heard of Dick Vermeil? But how long ago was that?
Wow. Yeah. That's a totally different era of football too. That's like late 90s, early 2000s when Dick Vermeil came back to the Rams.
To be fair, I think that, Shaw, you're right. Not a lot of times where older coaches are being hired. In fact, coaching is getting younger as far as that's concerned. But I do believe that one reason you don't see older coaches hired is because not a lot of older coaches are trying to get back into coaching. He hasn't technically left coaching. He left the NFL, but he's still coaching, and that motor is still going.
Yeah.
If Pete Carroll left the Seahawks and was interested in going elsewhere, I highly doubt teams would turn him down. You know what I mean? But Shaw's right. there's not a whole lot. The coaching's only getting younger. It's not getting older, but I think if teams had a chance, if Harbaugh was to leave Michigan and then go look for a job, I think he'd be hired in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
But it has to be that situation to pull him from Michigan. I think that's kind of where he's at with that. So we'll see what happens as far as that goes. All right, Kev. The NFL divisional round of the playoffs is coming up this weekend. I cannot wait. So many big-time matchups. AFC, NFC championship games on the line, appearances on the line. You were talking about pressure. What pressure? I mean, my goodness, it's the playoffs. There's no pressure.
Tons of pressure on quarterbacks. We all know it's a team sport, but the quarterback gets the glory and he gets the blame. So I broke it down into 3 categories. Actually, 4. I'm going to need your help with this 4th one. So house money, Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones. They're playing with house money. Obviously, Lawrence being in his 2nd year, they made the playoffs. They had that comeback victory in the wild card round. Now they're taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. If they win, if they lose, it's house money. Their season was a complete success. Daniel Jones, Giants, they go on the road. They get the victory over the Vikings. He plays his best game of his career. He's probably locked up a contract with the Giants long term. House money. Now, the guy in limbo, young Brock Purdy. Where do we put him? Because him as a player is house money. But the 49ers as a team, they got high goals and high aspirations. So I really don't have a spot for him. So he's kind of in this limbo between house money and better win or else. It's 2 guys in better win or else. Jalen Hurts, because you're the number 1 seed in the NFC. You guys dominated all season long. You were in MVP discussion. So you better win or else. Another guy in the better win or else situation is down from Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. You took your team to the Super Bowl last year, and now people have you favored to beat the Buffalo Bills. I think we both think that the Bengals are going to win, right?
Yeah, definitely. Mainly because they're the one that I'm confident in them having the ability to win, and they have a nice little payout if they do. So there's that. But yes,
we both believe that they can beat the Buffalo Bills. I know Fitz and Harry both picked the Cincinnati Bengals to beat Buffalo as well. So it's win or else, because there's been a lot of chitter chatter from Joe Burrow about the window is always open. Ask Dan Marino how long that window stays open. Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl in his 2nd year, never sniffed it again. So you got to capitalize. So you better win or else. And now we have the must-win category. And there's 3 guys in this must-win category. 1, Josh Allen. You have to win this because starting the season, everybody and their mom had the Buffalo Bills winning the Super Bowl. Now, injuries happen. All that type of stuff goes on. But guess what? You're the home team versus Cincinnati Bengals. You didn't play the Cincinnati Bengals because obviously the situation with DeMar Hamlin. But this game could be in Cincinnati for all we know. You've been turning the ball over at a high rate. So you better win this game. It's basically laid out for the Buffalo Bills to win it. I mean, this is a Disney movie in the making. So they have to win this. Another guy that has to win this, Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Look, whenever the Dallas Cowboys are involved in the game, people are watching. Dallas Cowboys, they move the needle. And when you're a quarterback of America's team, you have to play well. And he did on Monday Night Football. Well, guess what? That was Monday, and now you got to play again. You have to win this game because you're Dak Prescott, and people always looking at you like, are you the weak link? Do we have to have 2 real good running backs? Do we have to have a great tight end and 2 good wide receivers for you to produce? So Dak Prescott, they must win. And must win, the most must win is Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion. Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback in the league, probably the MVP of this season. But if you lose to Jacksonville, if you lose before you even get to the AFC championship game, how long is that going to last? How long are we going to treat him on this pedestal? How long until we start looking at him like Aaron Rodgers if you have this? Because that second half against the Cincinnati Bengals defense, you look mediocre. So this is a huge opportunity, but it's also a must-win situation for Patrick Mahomes.
So where did you have Josh Allen again? I think if I had to say there's one quarterback that has to win on this weekend, the quarterback that a loss will do more damage to than any other quarterback this coming up weekend is Josh Allen. Because Josh Allen him and Patrick Mahomes have been put on this pedestal that one deserves, and the other one has just been chalked up there because Josh Allen is super amazingly talented, and if he was the Bengals quarterback, everyone would be saying the same things about him that they're saying about Burrow.
Right.
The difference is Allen's been around quite a few years longer than Burrow. Burrow's still in that honeymoon stage, and Burrow has he has maximized the honeymoon stage closer than he is closer to what we've seen from Mahomes than what Josh Allen is. Josh Allen, though, has just emerged into a star, and he's doing it in Buffalo, which isn't known for winning. So he's getting a lot of those same points that Burrow's getting, where they're doing it in places that we're not accustomed to seeing it. And they're doing it where all the odds are stacked up against him. Purdy's doing a lot of great things, but a great head coach, like you're supposed to be doing this. You're not supposed to win in Cincinnati. You're not supposed to win in Buffalo. So that's why those two quarterbacks are getting the benefit of the doubt, even when they struggle at times. But if he loses, he's now entering that Lamar Jackson territory where, okay, you're a great regular season quarterback, but at a certain point, I don't care how close you are in the postseason, it's about results. Patrick Mahomes, I think you put a little too much pressure on him. I think he's done more in his short career than Aaron Rodgers has in his entire career. I'll take, I guess, the multiple MVPs for obviously Aaron Rodgers, but Allen's about Patrick Mahomes is about to get his second MVP and all that. I think he could lose this season. He could lose next season. I think you can't continue going. I mean, he's been to the AFC title game 3 straight seasons, and if he wins tomorrow, it'll be 4 straight seasons. So I think you put a little too much pressure on him. Allen's facing the most. Burrow's facing a different kind of pressure. He's facing the pressure of if he loses on Sunday, I don't think anyone's like, oh, man, I think he's a fraud. No, he's still a great story, still a great quarterback. He's facing the internal pressure of trying to maximize this roster talent while you have it. Because Patrick Mahomes, this roster that he has now, it's talented. That's going to be about the base of what he's going to play with moving forward. He's not going to have the luxury to have the rosters that he did early on in his career moving forward. So that's why I think Burrow has a different kind of pressure. It's I got to win now because I'm not going to have Mixon, T. Higgins, Boyd, and Chase moving forward. I'm going to have a combination of 1 to 2 of them, or maybe just one of those dudes we just talked about. But I think there's a lot of pressure on him to win with that from an internal Bengals fan perspective. But I think if Burrow loses Sunday, I don't think anyone's like, oh, Burrow was a fraud. I think that more years need to be played by him in the postseason to kind of get a full picture. I think he's getting a little too much credit. What first playoff appearance he ever made, he goes on that Super Bowl run. Great story, but if it's 4 playoff wins over 6 years, that's a great thing. 4 playoff games in 2 years, it's okay, that same roster. Can you sustain that with moving pieces coming in and out? He's doing it with the same roster, and it's only improving. What happens when you start losing pieces? That's what Josh Allen's doing. That's what Patrick Mahomes is doing now. He's just not there yet with them. Purdy's interesting. I think Jalen Hurts, you put him in a high-pressure situation.
Better win or else.
You
better win.
Similar to Burrow, I guess. That rookie contract deal is the most talent you're ever going to play with. Now's the time to figure it out, I guess. But I don't think the Cowboys have that much pressure on them. And I know this sounds crazy because
it's the Dallas Cowboys.
They lost their top receiver heading into the season. They did nothing in the offseason. Everyone questioned if they were even going to be a playoff team because look how poorly they looked in the playoffs last year with the Amari Cooper and company, and then they got worse. So it's like they didn't have expectations coming in, but then they overcame all the low expectations. And it's like they know how to overcome it when everyone's doubting them. But then when people start having expectations for them, they fail. I just don't think this roster is as good as people say it is, but they have been winning. They've been scoring a lot of points. The defense is sporadically good. Maybe so. But the thing is, he's paid already. What pressure is he facing, Kev? He ain't going anywhere. He's not going to be benched. He's not going to be traded. He has his money already. It's not like he's like Lamar. A couple more playoff wins would have probably had him paid by now. So I think there's that kind of thing. What pressure is he facing? He's going to be the Cowboys quarterback for the next 10 years, one way or another.
I think it's just that because he's the Dallas Cowboys quarterback.
Just the natural one.
Just because you're the quarterback of America's team. You're on 4:30 almost every single weekend. I mean, you're talked about ad nauseum. You guys move the needle. So it's just that pressure right there. And the Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts, you're 100% on. Like, yo, you got the rookie contract. These teams are loaded, and especially for Philadelphia. We look at the Cincinnati Bengals defense, but look at Philly's defense too. We look at the Bengals' weapons. Look at the weapons Jalen Hurts throws to as well. So, they under a situation. They better win or else, but especially Jalen Hurts because they are the number 1 seed. I mean, I know he's banged up, all that type of stuff, but it's the playoffs. Everybody's banged up.
Allen's banged up too. No one talks about them ribs anymore, by the way.
True. Very true. And they're at home. I know they got a division rival and the Giants, but you got to win this game. You got to lead your team to victory.
All right, good stuff. Weigh in the comment section, the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. Go like and follow the show page. You can watch the show there and interact in the comment section. Good stuff coming in from here. Dustin Taylor, he says, I say the Jags take Kansas City. Just my opinion. I think the 4 AFC QBs are the future of the game. I think Allen needs to win to win the month. I think to win the most. He says that he needs to win the most. Shaw says the house money is Giants. He said house money is the Giants, obviously, and Daniel Jones, of course, but the Jags better win or else. Really?
Wow.
The Giants and Jags. Shaw, explain the Jags thing, because I'm with Kev. The Jags are this year's Bengals. Like last year, had the Bengals lost to the Raiders, it didn't really matter because they weren't supposed to make the playoffs anyway after only winning 4 games the season before and 2 the year before that. And then when they won in the first round of the playoffs, it was house money after that, and then they kept winning. And then they kept winning. So I think the Jags are this year's Bengals. I think it's all house money. Oh, no. House money. Yeah, that's right. No, I'm sorry. My fault. I'm misreading this. He said house money Giants, but the Jags better win or else. So that's what he said. I don't know. I'm misreading this. My bad. Shaw, I misread this. Let me fix it for you because I'm messing up my mess up. He said the Giants are house money.
Right.
And the Jags are house money. In the better win or else category, it's the Eagles, Niners. Okay, my bad. I misread it. You're good, Shaw. So the Jags are house money, he said.
Okay.
And the Giants. Are the Giants house money?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not supposed to be there either. They're kind of similar.
Yeah, they're house money. Like, they've done the best they could this season. I mean, and even just making the playoffs is an accomplishment, but going on the road to get the victory, that's another feather in the cap. So if they lose, oh, well, it is all good. They had a good season. But that's why that Brock Purdy is that's why I have it in limbo. The team, yes, they have to win this because they're super loaded. But him as a player is making this this is like his 7th start of his career. He's a rookie quarterback. It's a lot at stake, man. A lot of pressure.
Dustin Taylor to close it out. He says, I'm leaving for Buffalo on Sunday at 5 a.m. Wow. If someone needs a ride, LOL. He said, crybaby Bengals fan going into enemy territory. You know, you joke about that crybaby Bengals fan thing, but I guarantee you when you're freezing your ass off, you're going to really be hoping that everyone gets these host site AFC, NFC championship games where you'll never have to sit in the cold again. Did you see the report today?
I saw that.
Yep. By the way, Jonathan Phillips, he weighs in. He says, who day? I'm not giving it back, but I did read it at least. Brad Shell says, fly, Eagles, fly. So there's that. Brad also says, Jalen has this. He's been playing phenomenally. Go Birds, fly, Eagles, fly. So there you go. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. We'll be back in just a moment.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code APP70 for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. That's code APP70. Use code APP70 for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill up.
Here at Roosters, we're not just a fun casual joint. We're a family. No matter who we are serving, our guests or our community, we strive to better the lives of those around us. Whether it's aiding in the battle against cancer, helping to educate the next generation, or simply putting a smile on someone's face, the Roosters Foundation has helped raise over $1 million annually for local charities. Our community has given us so much. This is the least we can do. Roosters, we're a fun casual joint, but so much more.
Science proves quality sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses your movements and automatically adjusts to help keep you both effortlessly comfortable. And it's temperature balancing, so you stay cool. so you're at your best for yourself and those you care about most. Life-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number. And now save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed Queen, only $19.99, plus special financing, only for a limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Cordell Transportation is hiring third shift dispatcher/customer service representatives. Excellent pay, great benefits, no experience necessary, and paid training. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com or stop in today at 2942 Boulder Avenue in Dayton. Equal opportunity employer.
With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
There are many ways to catch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. You can catch it live right here on 1410 Wing AM, or you can stream the show at wingam.com. But now we have another way that you can take in the show. You can now watch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page. Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, and we are back, everybody. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. 518-1410, 518-1410. That's the number that you can call or text into the show and interact with us that way. All right, Kev, coming up this weekend, NFL Divisional Round, NFL Playoffs, Division Round, of course, a chance to get to the AFC and NFC Championship on the line. According to Pro Football Focus, article that they released earlier today, I guess the NFL really is leaning in the direction of making the AFC and NFC championship games as host sites. Put aside the pros and cons to those. Regardless of, first of all, I like the idea. I'm not against it. I know you've taken on the other side of that stance. However, regardless of the stances, I've always been surprised. I guess this conversation between you and I started a year ago when I said, I'm just surprised that they haven't done it.
Yeah.
Regardless as whether I think they should or shouldn't, I'm just surprised that they haven't forced this or enforced this in years past because of this. I guess the ticket prices. And by the way, Bengals fans, I've been very calm with them this week and the team. However, they got to stop. I know they're new to the playoff thing again, all this stuff, but they got to calm down. Like Joe Mixon and the players and the fans, they're offended that the Bills and the Chiefs were urged by the league to start selling AFC championship game tickets. Well, it's kind of funny. I went to the Bengals website, and they're also selling tickets for the AFC championship game. Y'all, calm down. I mean, have you guys not processed that while you are purchasing your AFC championship tickets, that you're complaining about how disrespectful it is, Joe Mixon and others, that the AFC is urging them to sell? It doesn't make sense. Everyone's selling tickets. I mean, you're selling tickets to assuming you're going to get there so that you're ahead of the curve, and that way everyone has their tickets and is ready to go if that's the case. I just got a kick out of that. I'm like, the hypocrisy. It just doesn't make any sense.
Motivation.
It's
they're
fuel to my
always
fire.
looking for motivation. That's all they're doing, looking for motivation. They're disrespecting us. I'm sure the players have no clue that their own organization is doing the same thing. And I bet their organization is hoping Jacksonville wins and they win and then get that home game while they still can host AFC championship games at home.
Speaking of Jacksonville and winning, how about we put our money where our mouth is? Have you had a chance to take a look at any parlays for this coming up week?
I have.
I'm one of those, I usually don't like placing bets days in advance. I'm a vibe guy, and it's kind of like how I feel when I wake up that day is what I'm going to lay for the bets. And half the time I'm laying in my bets like the final 10, 15 minutes leading into kickoff, which is dangerous because it's like shopping when you're hungry. It's like I should place all my bets now and then not touch my phone on the day of the game, because then I've made my bets when I'm cool, calm, and collected. I've already stuck to what I plan on spending. But then what happens? You start feeling overly confident. You feel different 10, 15 minutes before kickoff. You start hearing all the analysts and you're like, oh man, I didn't include him in my parlay. I need to include him in my parlay. So that's why I wait. And then it costs me more money. So
you make another one.
Yeah. I don't know how you all are. I don't know when you guys, I don't know what your strategies are. I am curious about it though. The only one I've laid in advance, Kev, is a 9-leg same game parlay.
9
plus 8 plus 823 is the odds. So there's that. $10 wins you 92. Burrow and Allen have to throw for each 225 yards plus. All right. Mixon needs to rush for over 40. Higgins needs to receive 40 yards or more. Chase needs 50 or more. And Hurst needs 25 or more. We also need 50 or more from Diggs. Davis needs 25 or more, and Singletary needs 25 receiving yards or more. Or rushing yards or more. So keep in mind, that sounds like a lot. But the longer the parlay, the more legs you have in that parlay, the higher the payout. But every single stat that I just threw that needs to be checked off, those are well below the averages for every one of those players I just listed. So again, it's a little much. I'm not urging this one for y'all to pick up on, but this is my ADHD pill hadn't kicked in, and I'm just like clicking, see the payout, bam, hit submit. There you go.
The only parlay I did was the 4-leg parlay, all on the money line for the Chiefs, Philly, Bengals, and Niners to win. $5 get you $32. So that's the only parlay I lay. And me, I like to. So I got this made up in my mind. I'm gonna make a 3-leg parlay on each game this week. Haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay, some in-game betting, some stats bets like you did yourself right there with that 9-leg parlay.
Well, here's some simpler one. Yeah, don't do that one. That one I just get obsessive when I start doing those because I'm like, oh, he's going to have a great game. He's going to have a great game.
What's going to happen, dude? You're going to get 8 of them.
So now that we're a couple weeks away or removed from the Hamlin situation, there was no way I was ever going to say this on the air so close to that because I would have come across real Skip Bayless-ish. I was very close to winning probably $500 to $600 in the first half.
My God.
So those the parlays that I had put in place for that Bills-Bengals game, Burrow, everyone had checked them off pretty much early on. Like I would have needed Burrow to get to 200 yards and I would have been, golden because Chase and Higgins and those guys, they had made big plays already to kind of get the yardage I needed out of them. Stephon Diggs made a big catch early on that checked off what I needed from him. And same thing, of course, with Josh Allen. He looked like he was kind of cruising into that too. So there's a lot of money that, again, they voided it back, all that fun stuff. But yeah, so I'm like taking that confidence from just that short stint that we saw between the two earlier in the season and hoping they pick up where they left off. But it's supposed to be snowing a lot too, so keep that in mind. But how about this, Kev? I only have a couple more minutes, but put your money where your mouth is. If you have to $10, you have to put $10. You have a bonus bet that you told me about. So yeah. I have a bonus bet as well. So me and you are going to go to FanDuel and we're going to put $10 on our upset. We're going to put our money where our mouth is. Where are you putting your money? Where's your mouth going to put your money, Kev? Which is the upset of the weekend that you feel the most confident about happening? See, it's easy to give an analysis when we're not putting our money where our mouth is. Now we got to do it.
Giants, Eagles. If I put a $10 wager down for the Giants, just strictly money line, $29 payout.
Giants, Eagles?
Yeah.
Giants over the Eagles.
Yep.
All right, I like that. Jody says, Jody Van Winkle on Facebook.
Jody.
He goes, what about all the possible Super Bowl rematch possibilities? You mean rematch or just Super Bowl matchup possibilities? Because I put $10 today on Bengals-Niners Super Bowl possibility. $10 wins you $130 if that happens.
Wow.
So that says if the odds right now, the odds are plus 1,200 right now, Bengals fans or just NFL fans in general. I still like the chances of a Bengals-Niners Super Bowl. You put $10 on that matchup. Again, I have a lot of bonus bets. I know a lot of you do as well. So it's kind of, I love using the bonus bets for these because it's chance, but nice payout. Plus 1,200. Bengals-Niners Super Bowl. $10 wins you $130. But how about this one? How about if you really feel gutsy, Kev, the all upset parlay?
All upset.
How many of you are gutsy enough to do this? The all upset parlay. The Jags plus 370 money line, Giants plus 290 money line, Bengals plus 198, and Cowboys plus 172. $10 wins you $1,400. $1,475. I know it's a long shot, and that's putting it nicely, but it is the NFL. Crazy things happen all the time. It wouldn't be that shocking if the Giants knocked off the Eagles. It wouldn't be that shocking if Trevor Lawrence knocks off the Chiefs. It's not expected. The Bengals is technically an upset based on the numbers if they beat the Bills, but I think we're all, even me, the biggest Bengals hater out there, I think we all expect the Bengals to come out on top over the Bills. And, the Cowboys, if they play like the way they did against the Bucs, I know it was the Bucs, but if they come out with that offensive efficiency, even if it's slowed down a tad and their defense can slow down Purdy, I'm just saying that Niners-Cowboys game is going to be it's going to be very interesting. Yeah. But if you do the all upset parlay, Jags, Giants, Bengals, Cowboys, all on the money line. $10 wins you $1,475. That is plus 14,000 odds, by the way. Those are Let's see the NFC upset. I'm just giving you some parlays just to kind of put a little money on. Nice little payout here. NFC East upset parlay. If you pick Giants and Cowboys money line, $10 wins you 96.
That's not bad.
I think the NFC upsets are. I think the Cowboys, Kev. By the way, I don't know if you. I'm picking the Cowboys over the Niners.
Niners.
You're picking you got the Niners.
I got the Niners. I think just the run game is going to be too physical for the Dallas Cowboys, so I'm going to go with the Niners to win.
You got the Niners, but what's your upset?
The upset that I will put money on would be the Giants over Philly.
Giants over Philly.
Even though I got the Bengals winning, and technically that's an upset, I'll give you the Giants over the Eagles. Divisional rematch, the way Danny Dimes played against Minnesota, a lot of confidence going in there. There's going to be 2 running quarterbacks out there. So, yeah, I would go with that.
All right, not bad. So, again, if you're just joining us, just kind of looking at these parlays heading into the weekend, you guys will on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page, I'll put out my parlays on game day just because, like I said, I don't like laying these out too many days in advance. I like to do it the day of. So we'll all chat. By the way, I love when people do this. I love putting out the parlay that I lay and then seeing what everyone's doing. And then I had a blast this past weekend with everyone. I'm just sitting on my couch watching the games, and everyone's is taking screenshots of their parlays and dropping them in the comment section. And everyone's like, oh, you're good. Like everyone's like, oh, check, you got this one taken care of. So I enjoy kind of sitting back with everyone and kind of following along on Facebook. So on game day, check out the Facebook page. I'll be putting out my parlays, and then you screenshot yours and put them in the comment section, and we'll follow along. But what these are, you're good, Kev. We're not going to do that this second. What these are just some of these results parlays for the division round of the playoffs. The all upset parlay, all money line, take the Jags, Giants, Bengals, and Cowboys. $10 wager wins you $1,400. Wow. The all upset parlay. The NFC East upset parlay, Giants, Cowboys money line, $10 wins you 96. The AFC all upset parlay, that would mean Jags, Bengals, and a lot of you out there have been very vocal on the Facebook page. A lot of you think you hope it's the Bengals and the Jags because it sticks it to the NFL who wants that host site, right? But if you do pick the Jags and the Bengals in the AFC all upset parlay, $10 wins you $130. If Jags and Bengals win and you bet that parlay, $10 wager wins you $130. That ain't bad. I don't mind that one. I like that. And then how about this one? I'm confident the Bengals. And I'm this one I'm laying for sure. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is here. The favorites plus Bengals parlay, because the Bengals are technically not the favorites heading into this based on the odds from FanDuel. It's plus 584 odds if you pick all of the favorites and the Bengals money line. So picking the Niners, picking the Chiefs, picking who am I missing? Oh, the Eagles. So if you pick the Niners, the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Bengals, that again, the favorites in the Bengals parlay, $10 wins you 60. So again, that's the one I'm laying for sure. So there you go. Do what you will with that. Last thing on the way out here, Kev, I'm not an NBA bettor. I know you love the NBA. So
love the association.
All my friends too, they love the NBA, and they said they're over the NBA because they're not winning money on the NBA.
The NBA is so difficult to bet. I'm done betting on the NBA as well. I'll watch it. I love it, but I can't bet on it because I just can't keep up.
Well, my NBA bettors out there, some of you doubting the NBA, that's fine, but I have an easy one for you tonight, or at least something to kind of lay the groundworks for an in-game parlay or a multi-team parlay. How about this? Golden State, they're at the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, but Golden State will be without Wiggins, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, James Wiseman, and Draymond Green. So there is no Golden State. It says their name on the jersey.
5.
Yes, this is Summer League. So the Summer League Warriors are going to be at Cleveland taking on the Cavs minus who are they without tonight? I just spaced on that. Donovan Mitchell, but they have Garland and everybody else, so you're good there. I'm not telling you what bet to place, but just I thought you guys would like to know that the Warriors are with pretty much they're without every major player at Cleveland tonight. So do with that what you will. The Cavs are 11.5 favorites at home tonight, but go build a little multi-team parlay. At least the Cavs will for sure get you one of those legs in that. So there's that.
Then definitely take the over on Jordan Poole points.
Jordan Poole, and then again with same thing with Garland too. Whatever, I don't know what the over-under is for Garland, but check out that again because no Donovan Mitchell tonight for the Cavs. All right, folks, we'll be right back. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, 1410 ESPN Radio.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The mid-afternoon and early evening will be cloudy with a few spots of flurries and snow, a high near 35. Tonight's going to be mostly cloudy and cold, a low near 28. And tomorrow's going to be partly cloudy, a high near 40. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Liberty. Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
If you want your dental visit to feel like this, try Crest Densify. Crest Densify actively rebuilds tooth density to extend the life of teeth by remineralizing enamel. Crest, the #1 toothpaste brand in America.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The all-new Chevrolet of Troy is now open. What are the advantages of shopping at Chevrolet of Troy? Selection has never been better. With over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles available, we always accept employee and supplier pricing, and we make financing easy. Customer service is our top priority. We care about you. With thousands off MSRP, a full-service state-of-the-art dealership, and huge selection. Make Chevrolet of Troy your first stop today. 1375 South Market Street and online at ChevroletofTroy.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with